Today's unboxing is going to be really special. It's the EBOX 2.0. So as you guys remember, I did get the Dragster a couple months ago, and that was a really fun bike, especially for learning how to wheelies. And I really enjoyed everything about that experience with the Dragster, from the customer service to the quality of the parts and all of that. Amazing. So when I saw that the EBOX 2.0 was being launched, and I saw a couple videos on their Instagram, obviously Saronster has some awesome videos about that bike, I thought, man, I want to check that out. So that's why we ordered the EBOX 2.0. Now it looks like the box is roughly the same size as the one that I got for the Dragster, and about the same weight. This thing weighs 117 pounds in the box, so kind of heavy. Anyway, enough talk. Let's unbox the EBOX 2.0 and cut to a montage right about now. All the parts laid out. We got the front fender, number plate, bar pad, some tools, the rear monoshock, handlebar clamps, some fuses, hardware, front shocks, front wheel axle. So now we'll just follow the directions in the instruction manual and cut to another montage right about now.
One debt to society later.
All right, we finally got the EBOX 2.0 assembled. And yeah, very similar to our experience with the Dragster when we unboxed it and assembled it. Obviously a little bit bigger than the Dragster, but it's also a little bit smaller than what I had imagined. But yeah, let's just walk through all the features. So we got the front suspension fork over here. Not sure which is which, but we have the preload and the rebound. The fork looks like it's pretty good. Maybe could use a little bit more preload. Honestly, just having, that kind of suspension versus the Dragster is actually pretty nice to have. In the front, we have a 14-inch wheel with off-road tires, and this is probably what we're gonna replace, probably do a supermoto setup at some point. We also have the standard hydraulic disc brakes that EBOX offers. Front fender, obviously we went for the green, so you get all the graphics that come on the plastics, but yeah, front fender. Got the fork guards. You also have a number plate up here. Pit bike style handlebars, pretty minimalist. There's no display or anything like that. You have a bar pad over here. Obviously you have the full twist throttle, and then you have the cutoff kill switch right here. You have the key ignition, and then your battery power right here. We have more plastic on the side over here. This is easily removable in case you need to access some of the connectors. For example, we removed the brake sensors. We just had to pop the plastic open and remove the connectors. Pretty simple. The battery is the same battery as the Dragster, so it's 60 volts and 18.2 amp hours. It also has these control knobs as well. Now on the Dragster, we had the aggression and the max speed up top. Here we have response and speed. It's located right here in the frame, so it is accessible when you're riding, so you could kind of change the tune depending on how you like to ride. Standard pegs over here. You could also get lowering brackets for the pegs if you're a bigger rider. That's available on the website. Kickstand is cool. It's a little high, to be honest. I feel like I wish this was adjustable. So the motor is 2,000 watt rated, 3,000 watt peak, and I think this is probably the same thing as the Dragster because it does handle 60 volts. You have a very big monoshock back here. It's adjustable. I feel like the preload is good for my weight, and it looks like the shock is probably similar, if not the same size as the Suron. If you wanted to upgrade that, it seems pretty simple to do. You also have like the moto style, dirt bike style seat. There's a little bit of cushion. It's a lot more narrow than I anticipated. I thought it'd be maybe a little bit wider, but it's fine. You also got the rear fender over here connected to the side panels. Back here we have the wider 12-inch tire, very similar to most of these electric pit bikes. And I think we're going to do the supermoto setup where we have dual 12-inch wheels with supermoto tires. Here's a look at the rear hydraulic disc brake. And again, like I said, we might upgrade this to a Magura. It also comes with this mud flap for the shock. So when you're riding through dirt and stuff, it doesn't splash any debris into your shock. And we have a 219 chain. So underneath the seat is where the controller is located. And I think this is pretty much the same controller as the Dragster. I might be mistaken. And the total weight of this bike is 93 pounds. So now that we've gone over all the features, let's take the EBOX 2.0 for its first ride.
The EBOX 2 is all about power and performance. Weighing in at 93 pounds, it's a bit heavy considering its size, but that weight contributes to its stability when tackling rough terrain. The bike is equipped with a front suspension fork and a rear monoshock designed to absorb the bumps and jolts that come with off-road riding. The wheel setup, a 14-inch front and a 12-inch rear, combined with the 219 chain, gives the bike a solid grip on uneven surfaces. The EBOX 2 has a 2,000-watt rated, 3,000-watt peak mid-drive motor, which provides an incredible amount of torque and power. With a 60-volt, 18.2 amp-hour battery and a 45-amp controller, the bike offers a top speed of over 30 miles per hour and a range of 20 to 25 miles, depending on how hard you push it. The bike's unique feature is its analog throttle and speed control knobs. These dials allow you to fine-tune the throttle response and top speed to match your riding style and terrain. It's a feature that adds a layer of customization, but it also means there's a bit of a learning curve to get everything dialed in just right. While the EBOX 2 delivers on power, its frame size may not be ideal for everyone, especially large or heavy riders who might find the fit a bit cramped. However, for those who find it comfortable, the bike offers a thrilling ride with plenty of control. The dual hydraulic disc brakes ensure that you can stop on a dime, which is crucial when navigating challenging terrain at high speeds. The throttle and speed control knobs give you the flexibility to adjust your ride on the fly, whether you're looking for a full throttle sprint or a more controlled cruise.
Okay, first ride with the EBOX 2.0. We'll set all the settings to low. So here's what I look like on the bike. I'm about 5'5" inches. Suspension feels good. I feel like it's maybe a little too bouncy. I could probably add a little bit more preload, but it's fine for now. Suspension feels good, and we'll just get right into it. So lots of torque, even on its lowest setting, but as you can see, I'm pinning the throttle right now, and this is as fast as I'm going. So probably a good setting for kids or people who want to learn how to ride like a little mini electric pit bike. I don't know, this is probably too slow for most people. We could bump up the speed. I'll keep the response down. I'll keep the throttle response down, but I'll bump the speed up a little bit. And yeah, so you still get that torque, but it's a little bit more controllable. And I'm getting a little bit more speed. Very easy to maneuver. Just got to get the hang of it. You do hear the chain, and the chain could probably be adjusted a little bit, but we really didn't touch it. Yeah, you could tell this thing has a ton of power. You just got to put the settings up. But the dials are really sensitive, so you want to be careful with how you adjust it. You want to do it in like small increments. Bump up the speed a little bit more. Ooh. Okay, this is a little bit more controllable. Yeah, plenty of speed. Very nice. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Let's see if we can get the front wheel up. Obviously, if you're a stunt rider, you'll probably have more control than I do. I'm kind of struggling right now, obviously, but we'll get Sully Stunts on here. He'll show you how to do it. Don't pay attention to me. I'm just... It's amateur hour right now. All right, we're on the grass right now. Suspension is doing its thing. Very easy to ride, very comfortable. Yeah. So definitely taking this off-road would be a lot of fun. And we could test the brakes. First impressions with the EBOX 2.0. Yeah, lots of fun. I mean, I love the full suspension. You know, the dragster was awesome, but that's, you know, I think it was more like a kind of like, you know, like riding in the parking lot with your friends type of bike, learning how to wheelie. When we tried to take it out on like a longer group ride, it was a little uncomfortable because, you know, we ride on really rough streets. This is something that I think would be really cool on like a longer ride or like a mini bike ride, you know, especially with how this thing is set up, especially if you get like supermoto tires and stuff. Tons of fun, tons of power. I think you really have to like play with the dials to find that sweet spot for how you like to ride, how you like to control it. There's no issues with like power. And I think if you're a stunt rider, I think you'll still need to like find that sweet spot, but you'll have no issues keeping the wheel up because there's just so much torque. All right, that's enough of me talking. Let's get Sully's take on the EBOX 2.0.
It reminds me a lot of the Razor, the size and everything. Having factory hydraulic brakes is a huge upgrade in comparison to the Razor. The forks, I mean, Razor wish they had forks this good. Rear shock feels a little squishy. We could probably definitely make it a little stiffer. I'm about 5'11" and 150 pounds, and the bike is relatively small, but that's what you buy this for. It's a mini bike, and I love mini bikes. I've had Razors before, and they are the most fun to ride. I always start with the speed pretty much almost maxed. I turn it down just, I would say probably 1/8 of a turn. And then I will have the response turned all the way down. Let's try some foot downs and see what I need to adjust next. Actually, I think I got that pretty good on first try out of luck. Yeah, definitely super torquey. Pops the front tire right up when you want it to. Every single bit of throttle that you give it, it is very responsive with it. If you stay in the throttle, the power curve kind of starts to decrease. So you almost have to like chop the throttle to get that extra power out of it, to keep it up going when you start moving a little bit quicker and to drop it back. We'll start with a sit down, very simple. It's a little lefty righty. It's hard to keep the balance, especially when it's so like torquey. Super fun, super fast. Coming from the Sur-Ron, the throttle is so smooth, and the Razors too, to where this is, it's like when you first give it throttle, it's way up here on the throttle curve, and then as you stay in it, the throttle kind of tunes itself down, which is weird, but you just got to get used to it. Oh yeah, the knee knock feels nice. The brakes are working super good. It's my hair. My hair's my helmet. Yeah, this thing is so much fun. I feel like with just like a week on this thing, I could be hitting all the same combos that I do on my Sur-Ron. Yeah, just everything is just seat time, seat time, seat time. On any bike, you can get used to it. It just takes some time and practice and patience. We gotta go get a good sit down. That was scary. Riding through the grass here, hitting all these potholes and popping wheelies, going through everything. Suspension feels awesome. It's like a little mini 50. Tires grip up really good. Oh yeah. I'm gonna try and miss the branch, that way I can launch it off this top part. Oh my God. I'm gonna try and come off of right there. Nope. Definitely not enough speed for the hill. I know camera never does hills justice. It's a pretty steep hill. It's just there's too many things in the way to jump it, unfortunately, with the speed that I have.
But you were able to climb and blah, blah, blah.
But I was able to go up the steep incline with some speed and to get a little bit of air. So yeah, definitely a fun ride. And it took it went from grass to sand to rocks and sand, and it took all of the terrain changes like a champ. Yeah, so if you were to ride this primarily off-road, you would love it. It's just as fun as it is on the street off-road. So the weight of the bike, you can definitely tell that it has a shorter wheelbase than the Razor. When you're wheeling it, it comes up to a taller balance point, to where the Razor is a bit longer, so the balance point is further down. The seat cover is very slippery. It definitely could be a grippier cover. Your butt just slides right off the back. These little ridges in here don't really do much to keep you planted on the bike. It's actually really soft foam, but it's pretty high density. After a long ride, your butt would probably be a little sore. One of the very first mods I do on all of my stunt bikes is taller bars. The riser bars are like a must for wheelies. It makes everything so much more comfortable because you have more leverage and you can sit at a more leaned back angle, so that way you can balance easier. You can sit on that balance point easier, because when you see a lot of people when they're wheeling and they're leaned forward like this, their body weight is actually making them like chase it out because their front tire's coming down as you're trying to throttle out. Definitely want to put some wider Supermoto tires on this thing. I just feel like dirt tires in the street are like a sin. You can't do that. Dirt tires are for dirt and they wear so much quicker. You're just spending money for no reason. But if you could get a slightly wider rear, there is some chain clearance here. So there is a possibility we could go with like a 90-100. Having that wider tire will make the wheelies more straight. And one of the things that I have the biggest issue is with this bike when wheeling is the left to right tip. It's very easy to get off balance. The plastics are super cool. I think it looks like an actual like pit bike, which a lot of the bikes, they just kind of look like kids' toys. This doesn't really, I mean, yeah, it's a kid's toy, but it looks like it means business. I wouldn't mind taking this on a whole ride. I feel like this was probably more comfortable than my completely modified Razor that I had. It's a good bike for right out the box. I have no complaints. I mean, yeah, the brakes could be a little better, but you could wheelie these absolutely no problem. I feel like you could probably even upgrade the pads to a sintered pad, and it would probably even bite harder and possibly last a little bit longer as well.
Here's what we like. The EBOX 2 offers an incredible amount of torque and power, making it a blast for on and off road, and the analog throttle and speed controls are a unique feature that allows for a highly customizable ride. But here's some things to consider. The frame size may not be comfortable for extra large riders, which could limit its appeal, and the analog controller dials will take some time to learn, so finding the right tune for your ride might require a bit of trial and error. Overall, the EBOX 2 electric pit bike is a powerful and customizable machine that's designed for mini bike enthusiasts. Its unique analog controls offer a level of real-time tuning that you won't find in many other bikes, but they do come with a learning curve. If you're willing to put in the time to get everything dialed in, the EBOX 2 could be a solid choice to add to your collection. So what's your take on the EBOX 2? Does it have the features you're looking for in an electric pit bike, or do you want more? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.